is grossly in error for placing Haman at the time of Moses.
Yeah.
So I would recommend them go to the website and see the fruit of his research. Another mistake in the Quran.
And it can't be just just Haman, the name, Manu or whoever else. You can't pull that one on us because it talks about him building a tower.
Yeah.
you know. So wait, what tower? Wait a minute. Now we got three stories. Now we got the Tower of Babylon. We got Haman of Persia, and we got him with Pharaoh in Egypt. The time is grossly different. The geography is grossly different. What else?
I just want to add that there's better evidence that I'm a prophet than that Muhammad was a prophet. If you now ABN will post these shows. I want you to go back to the earlier broadcast we had on the minaret ban, and during that, when I was pointing out the Muslim inconsistency, I said this is just like all the Muslims who call into the show and say, stop criticizing our religion, it's wrong to criticize another religion. I pointed out how inconsistent that was, and then I said, but I bet we'll see this weekend where Muslims call in and say, just stop criticizing our religion, it's wrong to criticize another religion. And we just had a Muslim call in and say, stop criticizing my religion, despite the fact that the Quran does it over and over again. I said it was going to happen, it happened. Now you've got an example of me saying something is going to happen. That's better than anything you've got in Islam from Muhammad.
Yeah, but did you split the moon?
No, but some of my followers a couple hundred years down the road can claim
attributing miracles to him, yes.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yes.
Muhammad lived in a medieval time when astronomers certainly would have seen the moon split around the world. I wonder if it just appeared to split in Mecca.
No, nothing happened. Nothing happened in Mecca. Nothing happened in Mecca. What you have, Pastor Joseph, is according to the Quran, over and over and over again, Muhammad couldn't perform miracles. That's the position of the Quran.
Right.
He wasn't given miracles. He's just given the proclamation of the Quran. But as Muslims went out and proclaimed the message, they're constantly going to Christians, they're constantly going to Jews, and every time they run into Christians and Jews, the Christians and Jews say, what miracles? What miracles did he perform? Jesus rose from the dead. Jesus healed all kinds of people. What did Muhammad do? And the Muslims say, well, we've got this lovely book. It's got some beautiful Arabic script in it. There's our miracle. And the Christians would say, you're comparing that to Moses parting the Red Sea? You're comparing that to Jesus rising from the dead, walking on water? What is this? And all of a sudden, a little later, we're talking hundreds of years, well, at least over 100 years after the time of Muhammad, Muslims start coming back, oh, well, we found this miracle. The ink is, of course, still wet on the paper. But yeah, so now believe in Muhammad. Sorry, too late, my friend.
Well, Pastor John, I don't want to cut you out, but I want to share something. If Muhammad did miracles, it falsifies the Quran. The Quran is mistaken if he did miracles.
Give us a verse that says that.
And that's what I was going to say.
Miracles.
Here's the reason why. Again, I'm going to challenge the Muslims to call and show where I'm mistaken, where I'm misinterpreting the Quran. If Muhammad did miracles, then the Quran is wrong. It's a lie. And here's why. Go to chapter 29 of the Quran, verses 50 to 51. I'm going to read it. Chapter 29, verses 50 to 51. This is what it says. Muslims, please pay attention to the argument because I want you to show me where I am mistaken in my interpretation. They say, this is the disbelievers, why have signs not been sent down upon him from his Lord? In other words, miracles. How come there's no miracles that Allah has given him to show that he's a prophet? Say, the signs are only with Allah. I am only a plain warner. Now that response makes no sense if Muhammad could do miracles. He's saying, signs are with God, he can do miracles, but me, as far as I'm concerned, my role, I'm only a warner. But now note 51. What? Is it not sufficient for them that we have sent down upon thee the book that is recited to them? Notice, the Quran is saying the Quran itself is sufficient as a sign and miracle. So when Muhammad is asked to produce miracles, he goes, the miracles are with Allah, I'm only a warner, and besides, this Quran is sufficient. That's all you need. But if Muhammad needed miracles to validate the Quran, then the Quran wasn't a sufficient witness, then that means the Quran is wrong and mistaken. Now I want you to understand the argument. The Quran is saying in response to the request of the disbelievers for Muhammad to show miracles, the Quran is saying, Muhammad is only a warner, and besides, this Quran is sufficient in of itself, which means no miracles will be given, because if miracles are given, then that means the Quran is not sufficient and needed miracles to back it up. So you're in another dilemma. If Muhammad did miracles, then the Quran is wrong, it wasn't sufficient. But if it's sufficient, as the Quran says, he didn't need any miracles, which is exactly the position of the Quran, you can't have your cake and eat it too. I just want to make that clear.
Yeah, thank you so much. Excellent point. And for those of you like Ali or Muhammad, whatever his name was, so many Muslims who know very little about their Quran, you want to find out more about Haman, You can see it in Surah 28, Surah 29, Surah 40. But here's one. Maybe a Muslim can call in and explain to us sometime. It's just Muslim trivia here. Surah 28, verse 38. Pharaoh said, O chiefs, no God do I know for you, but myself therefore. O Haman, light me a kiln to bake bricks out of clay, and build me a lofty palace, that I may mount up to the God of Moses. But as far as I am concerned, I think Moses is a liar. Can someone...
Can you read the first part again, Pastor Joe? What was Pharaoh's response?
Let's take that.
The first part
of the verse.
When he said,
Pharaoh said, O chiefs, no God do I know for you, but myself.
Now, is that historically plausible? Has there been any pharaoh to deny the existence of any other god besides himself?
No, they were polytheists.
They say all kinds of
But according
gods.
to that statement...
There was a monotheist one, but he said there's
but there is a God.
That's not me. Yeah.
This statement says that the Pharaoh of Moses denied the existence of any other god besides himself. Did you catch it?
They would have gone nuts if he had said that.
Yeah.
Right? But I want you to understand, not only do you have the error of Haman, you have the error of a pharaoh denying any other god but himself, which is nonsense. There is no Egyptologist that will agree that there was a pharaoh, especially the Pharaoh of Moses, that said, I alone am God. He's using the language of Allah. There is no other God besides me.
Right. Well, you know, how many biblical stories have they got confused?
How many
Muhammad,
historical mistakes?
I mean, yeah,
even the basics on what Christians believe, or even the gospel. The Qur'an talks about the gospel, but it refers to it as a book given to Jesus that Jesus then passed on. There was never any such book. There was never any such book.
Exactly.
The gospel is a message about Jesus' death, resurrection, and deity. It was later included in the Gospels. They were called Gospels because they contained the gospel, this message that the apostles went out preaching. Muhammad didn't know this. He just hears the Christians talking about the gospel. He thinks that it's a book. Since he believes Jesus is a prophet, he believes Jesus came with the gospel as in a book, and it's totally wrong. I just want to ask Muslims, please call in and tell us, how many clear errors in the Quran do we have to point out before you be willing to question whether it's the perfect, infallible Word of God? Does it take 5? Does it take 10? Does it take 100? How many? I want to know so that we can try to meet this.
But, how many are in this one verse?
I mean, emphasize, Pastor Joe, the fact that we're not presupposing the inerrancy of the Bible. We believe the Bible's inerrant and inspired, inerrant in the originals, and God has preserved the originals. We're just treating the Bible as an historical document. And this statement about the Pharaoh is not dependent on the Bible. You can go and read, or you can go and just read any Egyptologist who will tell you there has never been a Pharaoh who believed that he alone was God. So just looking at the Bible as an historical document and looking at these historical sources or the hieroglyphics, you name it, history is against the Quran. Biblical history, Egyptian history, Babylonian history, Greek, I mean, you name it.
Well,
history
tell
is
that
a witness
to
against the
Manu,
Quran.
because Manu takes every verse in the Quran and logically looks at it and sees whether or not it lines up with what he knows. So anyways, all right, let's go to the next caller before the break. Jesus or Muhammad, you're on the air. Hello, you're on the air with Jesus or Muhammad. Hello, Ahmed. Hello.
Hello.
Welcome.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
Yeah, he'll defend you from the devil, but he won't defend you from Jesus.
Go ahead.
قل يا أهل الكتاب.
Okay, this is an English show. If you want to talk, speak in English. Otherwise, we'll go to the next caller.
Yeah, we invite you to show us where we're wrong.
Yeah, get to the point, Ahmed, please. No, this is not Jummah prayer.
People of the book let's come to a common term that we
the Mubahila, is that it?
none but Allah.
Okay.
Here, you guys went through a lot of points through the night, and I was flipping through the channel, and I found you guys talking about Mary, the sister of Aaron, and then the topic went on and on and on and on. I was like, eesh, where should